Good morning, students. Hello, guys. Now we will see the head loss in pipes due to friction. Means we will see or we will consider the major losses in the pipe due to the friction, because the major losses will occur in the pipes and these are due to the friction. Okay, in previous lecture we have studied about the laminar flow and turbulent flow. Then we will studied how to distinguish between laminar and turbulent flow, which is based on your mean velocity as well as the Reynolds number. If it is less than 2000, then we will consider it as a laminar flow, and if it is greater than 4000, then we will consider it as a turbulent flow. Similarly, we have derived the derivation for this Reynolds number, which is nothing but the ratio of inertia force to viscous force. Then by putting all the values and all the parameters, we have concluded that the Reynolds number formula is derived as rho into V into D divided by nu, where rho is the density, V is the mean velocity, and D is the diameter, and nu is the dynamic viscosity. And instead of rho upon nu, we can write it as 1 upon small nu. So it will become V times D divided by small nu. Small nu is nothing but kinematic viscosity, because kinematic viscosity is given as the dynamic viscosity to the density. So based on this, we have concluded the laminar and turbulent flows. Okay, now we will see the two types of losses. Actually, in last lecture we have studied about two types of the losses, which is first one is major losses and second one is minor losses. So major losses, actually these are due to the friction in the pipe. They will occur due to the frictional cases in the pipe. And minor losses, these are due to the sudden contraction, sudden enlargement, due to the fittings, due to the bends, due to any obstruction in the pipe. These types of losses are considered in minor losses. And if the losses are occurring due to the frictional or viscous resistance, then these type of losses are considered as a major losses. Okay, so here now we will see the major loss or head loss due to friction is depending on the mean velocity. So how it will distinguish the laminar and turbulent flow? So for laminar flow, the head loss due to friction in a given length of pipe is proportional to mean velocity of the flow, as long as the flow is laminar. That is, the head loss HF is directly proportional to the mean velocity. But as the velocity increases, but with the increasing velocity, as the flow becomes turbulent, the head loss also varies and becomes proportional to V raised to power n. It will not be proportional to only V, but as velocity increases, the head loss also varies and becomes proportional to V raised to power n, where n ranges from 1.75 to 2. Okay, so this is the basic difference between the laminar and turbulent, or the head loss for laminar and head loss for turbulent flow, which depends on the mean velocity. But how? For laminar flow, it is directly proportional to the mean velocity. For turbulent flow, it is directly proportional to the V raised to power n, where n is the index, which ranges from the 1.75 to. Okay, now next we will find out the frictional head losses in the pipe of constant cross section. Okay, so actually from this, or the conclusion of this derivation is nothing but the Darcy-Weisbach equation. This is the Darcy-Weisbach equation we will conclude, or we will get after this derivation. Now first, let us consider the steady flow in a conduit or any pipe of uniform cross section A. The pressure at section A and the pressure at section A at section 1 and 2 are P1 and P2. Here this is the section 1 and this is section 2. So pressure at section 1 and pressure at section 2 is P1 and P2 respectively. Okay, the distance between these 2 points is measured as length L. Okay, now as we know that for equilibrium of steady flow, the forces must be equal to 0. All the forces acting on this cylindrical element must be equal to 0. Now we will first consider which type of forces are acting on this cylindrical. So first one is the pressure force. Pressure force at section 1, which is acting in upward direction. Now pressure force at section 2, which is acting in downward direction. So this is first force, P1 into area, P2 into area, this is second force. Now third one, the force is due to the weight of the cylindrical element. Okay, now this component is divided into this direction and this perpendicular direction. So if this is alpha, so this component will become gamma into area into L into sine alpha. Actually gamma into area into L, it was weight. Weight is nothing but mass into acceleration. Sorry, mass into acceleration means, but this acceleration is due to the gravity, means weight W is equal to m into g. Now m can be replaced as, mass can be replaced as density into volume. Okay, now this volume is replaced by area into length. So density rho and remaining term is g. Rho into g is nothing but your specific weight, gamma. So this will become, weight is nothing but, it will become gamma into A into L. So this component, now we will actually we need this component in this central axis component, we need actually here. So this component will become gamma into A into L into sine alpha, and it is acting downward to the flow. Okay, now so there are three components, first, second and third components. So addition of these all forces must be equal to 0. So by putting P1 into A, first one is positive, P2 into A, this is negative. Similarly gamma into area into L into sine alpha, or here actually first initially we have taken this W into sine alpha. Now W is replaced as gamma into area into L into sine alpha. Now sine alpha can be replaced as Z02 minus Z1 divided by L. Okay, because sine alpha is nothing but this section from this reference point, this section is at Z2, this section is at Z1. So the difference between these 2 points will become Z2 minus Z1. So sine alpha will become front side divided by, sine alpha will become front side divided by the divided by the diagonal. So diagonal is length and this front side is Z2 minus Z1. So sine alpha will become Z2 minus Z1 divided by L. So by putting this into this equation, you will get P1 into area minus P2 into area minus gamma into area into length into Z2 minus Z1 divided by L minus shear stress into area, because the shear stress comes due to the frictional resistance in the fluid element. So shear stress, this will also act in the downward direction. So tau shear stress into area. Area is what? Area is nothing but perimeter into length, because this will be the circumferential area. So this will become perimeter into length. So tau into perimeter into length. So finally this will become P1 into area minus P2 into area minus gamma into area into length Z2 minus Z1 divided by L minus shear stress tau naught into P into L is equal to 0. So next, this P1 into area, P1A minus P2A, because A is constant, this cross section is constant. Okay, at section 1 A1 is area A, at section 2 this is same area. So P1 into A minus P2 into A minus gamma into A into L Z2 minus Z1 divided by L minus tau P into L into 0. Now okay, divide this equation by gamma into area. So you will get P1 by gamma minus P2 by gamma. By dividing gamma into area will get cancelled, so it will become P1 by gamma. Similarly it will become P2 by gamma. Similarly gamma into area, it will get cancelled, so it will remain L gets cancelled, so it will remain only Z2 minus Z1 minus tau into P into L divided by gamma into area is equal to 0. Now next, now this Z1, this minus will get plus, so Z1 plus P1 by gamma minus this minus and this minus will get common, this minus and positive signs will remain. So Z2 plus P2 by gamma is equal to, this will be shifted to RHS. So tau into P into L divided by gamma into area, which is nothing but, actually this is what Z1 plus P1 by gamma minus Z2 plus P2 by gamma is equal to HL, or head loss. Actually we will consider it as a head loss. As you know that P1 by gamma plus Z1 plus V1 square by 2G is equal to P2 by gamma plus Z2 plus V2 square by 2G plus HL. This Bernoulli's equation can be written between two sections, and where HL is the head loss, and the difference between this and this is nothing but the head loss. So for steady flow in pipe, uniform diameter V1 is equal to V2, this will become the head loss. Now this thing is equal to tau naught into P into L divided by gamma into area, and this is nothing but the head loss due to friction. So this total term is nothing but head loss due to head loss, and this is actually head loss due to friction, and it will nothing but tau into P into L divided by gamma into area. So therefore head loss due to friction HF can be written as HF is equal to tau into P into L divided by gamma into area. Okay, now this P by A, actually we know the equivalent diameter or radius, hydraulic radius or hydraulic diameter. Diameter, it can be calculated by using area to perimeter ratio. Now instead of area to perimeter, we can write 1 upon RH. So it will become tau into L divided by gamma into RH. Okay, so this is general equation and can be applied to any shape conduit having either laminar or turbulent flow. Okay, so the head loss due to friction HF can be written as HF is equal to tau into L divided by gamma into RH, where RH is the hydraulic radius or hydraulic diameter. Okay, we will see the remaining derivation in next lecture. Thank you.